The Vikings lose to the Lions with Dalvin Cook injured. Then they lose Adam more than a Thielen to an ankle injury. It feels like their season is absolute toast. Odds makers have them at minus 360 right now to not make the playoffs. What's your gut telling you here, Geoff? The biggest Kirk Cousins hater I know.
My gut tells me that the Vikings will probably go into the final week of the season needing a win against the Bears to get in and lose the game. That's probably that seems like the most Kirk Cousins way to end this year.
And that will probably save like Matt Nagy's job too.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Save that. Yeah, that would just work out perfectly. I'll be dead honest. I actually don't hate taking the Vikings on right now to make the playoffs. Like, who are we? Like, there's no dominant team in the NFC. Are we really that high on Washington all of a sudden? I like Washington, but the 49ers have proven time and time again, this is a team that will also let you down in the most easy of spots, much like last week. So I just don't think that there's any dominant team in the race for like the last playoff spot, because it's pretty clear we're just talking about one wild card spot. I don't think the Rams are going to implode to the point where they bring teams back in the conversation. But Washington, again, 49ers, these are also teams that can't be trusted. I don't hate taking on the Vikings here. I think they're at big enough odds, and I don't, the injuries, whatever, they still have Justin Jefferson. You can replace running backs. I'm not too worried about that. I'm just looking at the standings and the teams in front of them, and I still think the Vikings are at least as good or better than some of those teams they're going up against. So I think with the big odds you're getting, they're actually an interesting play to make the playoffs right now.
What's crazy is the NFC East could send like up to 3 teams to the postseason right now. And it's a division that sent 2 teams to the playoffs just twice in the last 11 years. Pearce, how do you feel about betting the Vikings here?
Didn't Washington make the playoffs last season? So, this is 2021. You're not going to be able to rule anyone out until the final week. And even then, I don't even know how that's going to work. But so, yeah, the Vikings have a chance. Did they lose to the Lions? Yeah. Should they have lost the Lions the first time? Yes, they should have. But if you want to play woulda, coulda, shoulda, and you go through the Lions schedule, the Lions are just about a 500 team. So that's not the worst possible loss in the world. The Lions are a decent team. They just can never get it done. And they almost choked again yesterday. The issue I have with the Vikings is just too many injuries. Kirk Cousins was inconsistent when he had Cook, when he had Thielen, and he had a really good offensive line. But now he's lost Thielen, he's lost Cook, and there's injuries all throughout that defense. They're an above-average defense probably to start the season, but they've lost their entire defensive line. They're dealing with linebacker issues every other week. They're dealing with DB issues every other week. You combine all those defensive injuries with Thielen and Cook, the inconsistency of Kirk Cousins, and it looks like they shouldn't make it, but like Geoff said, it's going to come down at last week. Flip a coin. Maybe they beat the Bears. Maybe they don't.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jules, there is that massive logjam in the NFC at 5-7, but Minnesota has the top spot among that group.
Pearce just gave out one of the hottest takes in the history of the sweat, and we just stumble right over it. We're entering week 14, and the Lions have won 1 game, and Pearce says they're about a 500 team. Wrong by a mile.
They have not been. Hey, the Lions have not been eliminated from playoff contention here, dude.
What do they have? Like 2 overtime losses? The Justin Tucker game.
Forget betting the Vikings for the playoffs. The Lions are just about 500. Let's bet the Lions to make the playoffs.
Yes, Pearce.
I need to see Pearce's ticket on his Lions to make the playoffs bet, because they're just about 500 entering week 14. It's time to go get them. All right, Vikings. Sure, like mathematically, maybe they're a good bet. Like, it's a good time to buy low. They lose to the Vikings. It was baked in, they lose to the Lions. It's baked in that they should have won that game. So that's why their playoff odds were like just about a pick 'em entering the week. So now you're getting good value if this team can bounce back. I actually don't hate them on Thursday night hosting the Steelers, who are kind of at a sell high on the Steelers, buy low on the Vikings after what we saw on Sunday on the short week on Thursday night. So I don't hate their odds to bounce back, but in the end, I'm with Geoff on just like Kirk Cousins is not my guy. We've seen him take knees when he meant to spike the ball and run the clock out to end halves. We've seen him line up under the wrong guy. Like, the dude's brain just isn't there. I'm not a Kirk Cousins guy, so I'm not in on this.